Video sparks fears Hong Kong protesters being loaded on train to China.
Here's a summary of the article.
Taipei, a video which surfaced on Monday appearing to show Hong Kong protesters being loaded onto a train near the border with China, is sparking fears online they are being sent to a detention center in the communist country, similar the re-education camps used to incarcerate ethnic Uyghurs. As clashes continued on college campuses between riot police and pro-democracy protesters in Hong Kong, a video was posted on Twitter spurring concerns that arrested demonstrators were being illegally extradited to China. Twitter users suggested that the students were from Hong Kong Polytechnic University, which was the scene of fierce clashes between riot police and pro-democracy protesters on Monday. The Twitter account for the youth activist group Demosisto wrote that the people in the Northern District threw objects on the railway track to prevent the protesters from being transported to China. Hong Kong police have yet to issue an official statement on the destination of the arrested demonstrators. Arrested protesters are getting transported out on a train. Residents and press are heard asking for their names.
This post received a score of 67,662, with an upvote ratio of 93%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Seems they don't need the extradition law, or laws in general after all.
Well, of course. They'd prefer to hide behind a facade of legality, but in reality they couldn't care less. Might is right for China in the end, and, if they can't rule with love, they'll rule by fear.
It's terrifying how 1.3 billion people live under this system and they can't do much about it at all.
They support, defend and justify it. 10 nations of 130 million would know more freedom. 100 nations of 13 million even more so.
It's insane to think just how many people live in China.
They're told that they need the CCP to prosper as there are so many of them. But then you look west to India and they have the world's largest democracy and are doing well. The people are indoctrinated and it's extremely tough to break down those walls.
Chinese does not think India is doing well. They think India is a slump and dirty. Just FYI. By the way, I don't think anyone in China in their mind would want to trade place with an average Indian. The ones that would trade places are too poor or isolated to realize India is a democracy. When they mostly think India, they think monk, yoga, sex cult, elephants if even that, smiley face.
I mean, they aren't wrong, but so was China 20 years ago. China has a short memory of where it came from. India and China are going to be at odds in the coming years as we pivot from China to India for business and manufacturing.
Really? China was like that in '99, early '00s?
I visited China in '98 and India in 2014 and honestly, kinda similar. The ratio of wealth to poverty may be a little more extreme in India but not by nearly as much as you might think.
We're seriously in the 1930s with robots, heading towards the 1940s now.
The freedom 40s lie ahead.
Last time we had a 40s, my grandfather's people were nearly wiped off the map. Not looking forward to it at all. The German government back then wasn't a fluke. People like to think Nazis were the big bad, but really, they were just a symptom of a much, much bigger issue. What they did to gay people, Romanians, Jews, etc. is not exclusively unique Germany. It's a problem that still persists today. Never again my ass.
Never again may only apply to the Germans, unfortunately.
Fascism was far more in line with historical standards than we like to think. It was a fluke in Western Europe in the mid-20th century, nothing more. Free, liberal democracy is the historical fluke, and we're watching it slowly circle the drain as it flounders in the wake of vast increases of inequality and new, powerful technologies of public surveillance and manipulation. Those techs work really well for fascists, though.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.